Sorry we missed yesterday. There were guests in the house. We are continuing with the Bharata story. We left where the house of wax was set on fire, not by Virojana, but by Bhima in advance. They were ready, the Pandavas were ready, hiding in the cave, and everybody else was asleep, and that was when Bhima set fire to the house of wax, and he also joined the rest, and they came out through the tunnel. The house burned down in no time because of the way it was built, and the villagers came to know of it, came and tried to put out the fire, of course in no vain, and they reported the matter to Hastinapura. Duryodhana also pretended to be sorry with the news, and they performed the last rites for the Pandavas with due ceremony. And Pandavas came out of the tunnel and soon reached the river Ganga, where a ferry was waiting for them as arranged by Vidura. And they crossed the river on the ferry. And when they reached the other side, of course they escaped from death, from sure death, but they were exposed to dangerous forest life when it was thick, dark all around, and the terrain was unknown to them. They couldn't even see where to put their next step. There was another danger hanging. If any of Duryodhana's spies spotted them, they would have been killed immediately because that would have been Duryodhana's instructions. And killing them would be no crime because they were already supposed to be dead. So they were in a precarious situation, dangerous from several points of view. Of course, the threat from wild animals was there. Bhima was there to protect them, but who knows? Who knows from where at night a lion or a wild elephant could come and attack them. Anyway, they had only one direction to keep, as far away from Varanavata as possible. And they started walking. After a while, they were all hungry and thirsty, and they didn't know how to get even water to drink. And Bhima was asked to get them some water, and they all sat down on the ground on bare earth. Bhima was about to go out when a demon by name Hidimba, who smelt human flesh. It is said the Rakshasas, the demons, they are fond of human flesh and they could smell it from a distance. And he smelt human flesh and asked his sister Hidimbi to go and find out from where the smell is coming, who they are, who could come to the forest which was his region. And Hidimbi came and saw the Pandavas. And she, instead of falling on them and catching them for meal, she was enamored by the sight of the Pandavas, especially Bhima. She immediately fell in love with Bhima, and she came and told Bhima, look, I am Hidimbi, the sister of Hidimba. My brother is looking out for you, for your flesh to eat. But I want to marry you. I am in love with you. So please consider my case. Please marry me. And Bhima didn't care for a demoness to be his wife. So he simply tried to ward her off. And there was a conversation between the two, but Bhima didn't care. Hidimbi tried to approach Kunti, pleading her case with Kunti. And when this was going on, Hidimba was getting impatient. He thought, why is my sister getting so delayed? So he came down. He saw them, and he found they were wasting time talking to each other. Then immediately he came and confronted Bhima. He said, you are my food, and you are quarreling with my sister. Come, let me eat you. I am hungry. And Bhima didn't bother. He didn't fear Hidimba or any other demon or anybody else. And when he was simply shirked off, Hidimba became very wild. He came rushing to catch hold of Bhima. Bhima just thrust him off. And that led to a tussle between the two, and it became a big fight. The two of them fought furiously, and at the end, Bhima killed Hidimba. And on Hidimbi's pleas with Kunti felt pity for her and told Bhima, look, you be kind to her, yield to her wishes, and you come back when she is happy. And Bhima could not refuse his mother, and Hidimbi took Bhima with her, and because she was a demoness, she could fly in the air, she could reach anywhere instantaneously. And she took Bhima to all places of her fancy, and they led hours in something like a honeymoon. And when she was satisfied, she brought Bhima back. And she said, look, it looks I am already pregnant with your child. I will bring him to you when he is born. For the demoness also, like gods, it is said the pregnancy matures very fast and the delivery is also quick. Bhima said, Kunti said, look, we will think of you when we need. At that time, your son, your child, hopefully a son, could come to help us. And Hidimbi disappeared. And they continued with their journey, and soon the day broke and they could find their way. and they found some water to drink, and they inquired forest dwellers, and they directed them to a village called Eka Chakra. They reached Eka Chakra and found a Brahmin's house, and they approached the Brahmin for a place to rest. And they were kind. And these people went saying that they are Brahmins. So they took the Pandavas in, accommodated them, and they started living in the Brahmin's house. A few days were spent. The daytime, the Pandavas would go out begging for food, and whatever they found, they would come bring to their mother, and Kunti will divide the food. Bhima would get half of it, and the other half was divided among the rest. And they continued living for a few days. And then one day they heard that the members of the family crying, wailing. They were arguing with each other, who will go. And when they approached them and asked what the matter is, they said that there is a demon by name Baka who lived in the near the village in the forest, and some time back when he came to the place, he would attack the villagers at his as and when he wanted, and he killed whomever he could find on the way. So that was, and even when he was, fully satisfied, even then he would have killed many more. He would kill in advance and then start eating. So it was, unwanted death. So they consulted among themselves, and they agreed that they would offer one person with enough food for Baka for the night. We'll continue with the story tomorrow. Today we stop. Namaskaram.